Hi, Al here. Well, John Cristofalusi personally asked me to do the intro for the Adult Party cartoon DVD. And what was I going to say? No? You don't say no to John Cristofalusi. Have you seen that guy lately? He's pumped up. He'll beat the living crud out of you. So here I am, introducing the DVD. Well, like most people in the known world, I guess I was introduced to John's work through a little show called Ren and Stimpy. I think what attracted me to the show was the style of the animation. It was definitely influenced by Bob Clampett and other early Warner Brothers cartoonists, but it had a definite style all of its own, and that was John Kay. But it was an extremely popular show. People were getting Ren tattoos. Young couples were naming their babies Stimpy. It was kind of pathetic, but it was definitely part of the zeitgeist. The animation itself was funny. The drawings were funny. The cartoons looked like they were made by people that actually enjoyed drawing cartoons, which is something you didn't really see a whole lot of on network TV at the time. I'm proud to say that at this very point in the space-time continuum, John Cristofalusi is working on a music video for a song for my next album, which I'm just really thrilled about, because John is a living legend. And I'd be saying that even if he weren't sitting 5 feet away from me right now, because John's work, well, it's an understatement to say it's been influential, because if you look at the animated programming on network TV in the last decade or so, I'd say most of the shows are somewhat inspired or influenced by John Kay's work in Spumco. Whether it's humble homage or outright thievery, people just love to rip off John Kay. He's that good. But I've kind of gotten off on a huge tangent here. I'm here to introduce the Adult Party Cartoon DVD. And this DVD gives you some idea of what John Kay's brain is like when it's not being reined in by network censors. If you're used to the original Ren and Stimpy cartoons, some of this stuff may be a little shocking. This material is not for everybody. My wife hates these cartoons. Hates them. Hates them. My daughter is not allowed to watch these cartoons until she's at least 35. But if you're already warped for life like I am, or if you've got a sick and twisted sense of humor, or if you're just a fan of truly great animation, I think you'll get a big kick out of this. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Adult Party Cartoon DVD.
Hi folks, John Kay here. I'm the guy that created Ren and Stimpy. So before we get going on these lost episodes, first I want to thank you for being fans and sticking around for what's been 15 years now since the show first came out. So I imagine you were probably like little kids watching it when it first came out in 1990, and now you've grown up and you've experienced changes in your body. And so have Ren and Stimpy. So that's what these lost episodes are about. So let me tell you the story behind this. Back when we were doing the original Ren and Stimpy, we used to get a lot of fan letters from you guys. And every fan would ask, they would ask for requests. Some fans really liked the gross stuff. Other fans would write in and go, hey, we like those hot chicks that you draw, like in Powdered Toast Man. Give me a whole cartoon about hot chicks. So I had this huge sack of letters of requests of story ideas and certain things that people wanted. So back then we started writing stories directly for the fans, and we pitched a lot of them to Nickelodeon. The second season had some of them, but there were a lot of stories that, they got rejected because maybe they were too much for kids, a little too old, or a little too risky for that time period. In fact, one of them you might be familiar with, Man's Best Friend. That was a cartoon we made in '91, and it didn't see air until Spike TV aired it about 3 years ago. What was that? 2003. So that was a lost episode. But there are about 15 or 20 more lost episodes. 6 of them are on this DVD here, and we made them about 3 years ago because Kevin Kay at Spike TV called me up, and he was a guy that used to be at Nickelodeon way back when. And he said, John, we want you to make the cartoons that got rejected the first time around. And the gloves are off. We're going to put them on in prime time. So do whatever you want and give the fans their money's worth. Give them everything they asked for. So that's what we did. And I tried to get a bunch of the people from the original show back. So we had Vincent Waller, the director of Big Baby Scam and Rubber Nipple Salesman and many others. We had Jim Smith, who did Untamed World and Space Madness and was one of the key designers on the original show. Richard Purcell was one of the writers from the original show. He wrote Powdered Toast Man and many other stories. I found Eddie Fitzgerald, who worked on all the episodes for the first 2 seasons, and he came back. And at the same time, we also recruited a bunch of kids who grew up watching Ren and Stimpy. And they were little kids, and the show, I guess, inspired them to draw. And now they're in their 20s, and they came and they worked on the new episodes. So we had a great crew, and you're going to meet some of them. There's going to be supplemental material at the end of each of the cartoons where you can meet some of the guys and girls that worked on the shows. So you'll find out just what's in their heads. So let me explain a little bit about the difference between Spumco cartoons, why maybe you were still sticking around 15 years later to watch Ren and Stimpy over and over again, and the kind of cartoons that network studios make. See, generally, before we made Ren and Stimpy, I worked on a lot of crappy cartoons in the 1980s, which were all made by committee, and all anybody ever worried about was whether they were going to offend anybody or not. And the way that works is they'll have about 15 network executives sitting around a board table, and the scripts will come in, or the storyboards will come in, and each one of them looks for things in the script that offends them. So they might find 3 or 4 things. So you multiply that by 15 and you get 45 to 60 jokes that are just tossed out. All because each person is worried about the one person in America that it might offend. So when we started doing Ren and Stimpy for Nickelodeon, I talked the executives there into not being quite so stingy with the jokes. I don't know how I did it, because it was a real revolution. And somehow I talked them into leaving in most of the jokes. They did cut some of them out, and it's kind of amazing what they did leave in. So my theory is, instead of cutting out each joke that might offend somebody, I think just add 20 more jokes and have them like really fast. Bang, 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 bang. So if there's one joke that you don't like, well, hopefully you'll forget about it 5 jokes later. So that's my theory. Just put as many jokes as possible, because every person in America and around the world has different tastes. So there's no point in me censoring what you might like or might not like. So Adult Party Cartoon, or the Lost Episodes, what you're about to see, are all cartoons written directly for your requests, written back in 1990, 91, and we just left everything in. There was nobody to censor them. Spike TV told us, put everything in it, don't censor it. We'll let the audience tell us what they like and what they don't like. And we had about 50 artists really work hard. People who were dedicated, that loved Ren and Stimpy, who really wanted to show what they could do. And some of the animation in this is just, it's some of the best animation that I've ever been involved in on television. And that's because the great artists that worked on it. We had Carbuncle Cartoons in Canada, who was the original animation studio that did the pilot, Big House Blues. And they did Ren Seeks Help and some of the other episodes. So anyways, I hope you like it. Everybody kind of killed themselves to do this. And I'm going to introduce each of the episodes and give you a little backstory on how we came up with the story. And then at the end of each cartoon, go to the supplemental material and you'll find all kinds of really cool behind the scenes stuff and meet some of the artists. All right, sit back and watch this crap. Three Stooges are a big influence on Ren and Stimpy, and you've probably noticed. We remember do you ever see cartoons where they ride off on bulls at the end? Well, that's right out of the Three Stooges. I remember we used to watch these and go, why the heck do they ride off on bulls at the end? It would have nothing to do with the story, but we thought, if it's good enough for the Three Stooges, it's good enough for us. So yeah, we steal jokes. So my writers and I got together one day and we said, hey, why don't we make a cartoon that's nothing but just crazy, crazy jokes like the Three Stooges, and we'll try and cram in as many jokes as we can. So I said, hey, One of my favorite types of Three Stooges stories are the ones where Moe is a nice guy. They'll start out with, Moe's slapping the crap out of everybody else, Curly and Larry, just beating the hell out of him. Then all of a sudden they'll hear an old lady crying. Moe will say, "Hey, wait, fellas, there's an old lady crying." And they go to check it out, and maybe it's an old widow that owns a hotel, and it's about to be foreclosed. So she's got no money. She doesn't know what to do. Moe says, all of a sudden, after we just saw him being the meanest human on the planet, all of a sudden he says, "Fellas, we got to help this poor old lady." "Okay, Moe." And they go off, and the rest of the episode is him beating the crap out of Larry and Curly as he's being a good Samaritan or an altruist. So I said, "Guys, let's do a cartoon called The Altruists." It'll be full of Three Stooges gags, and let's put a woman in the worst possible situation. What are the worst things that could happen to you? So she's a widow. Her husband didn't leave her any money. She's been evicted, so she lives in a hole in the ground, and she has a kid who's handicapped. And I won't tell you what the handicap is. You'll have to watch it in the cartoon. So this was concocted during breakfast, a multitude of breakfasts at Grillman's in Ottawa. So the writers on it were Richard Purcell, Eric Bauza, and Mike Kerr. Now Eric came up with a particularly nasty sequence in this called the log sawing sequence. And it's funny, after we made it, some people pointed to it and said, "Hey, wait a minute, are they gay?" People used to ask me that all the time in the original Ren and Stimpy. And the answer is kind of, well, sometimes they're like the Three Stooges. In some episodes, the Three Stooges are plumbers. In other ones, they're milkmen. Whatever the scene calls for. But in this particular log sawing sequence, they're not actually gay. You may think they are until you get to the ending. The ending of it is really a metaphor for the difference between how men and women see sex. And there's a big difference. And in this particular scene, Stimpy is he's a woman. He's not a Moe in this one. He's the woman character, as he was in many of the original episodes. So all you homophobes, don't jump down my back. It's a very funny sequence. Anyways, The Altruist is very long. It's the longest Ren and Stimpy ever. It's about 35 or 40 minutes. Non-stop, crazy, crazy gags. It probably has more gags in it than any cartoon we've ever made. So I hope you like it.
Altruist. Altruist is a lot farther down the road of this Three Stooges thing.
Yes, it was much more Three Stoogey.
And boy, it's a hard thing to do, and I am amazed that there's so many good things in there. Boy, I think this industry owes a lot to John because he pioneered a new way of storytelling in animation. What happens is, in the old animation, they wouldn't have much of a script, just a situation. Character goes down into the deep and meets an octopus while he's swimming around, and a shark, and they chase him around, and some of the fish dance, and then he gets out of it, and that's the end. And but the nice thing about loose stories like that is that they allow for a lot of animation, interesting animation and gags. So the story may not be that great, but it's not important because it gives a lot of room for the gags to play, and it's really the gags that make the film. And here's something where the gags and the acting really make this film. And it was so daring, so conceptually bold, I thought, to any more hyperbole that I can think of, to take this risk and do this in a long format. I think it definitely showed that John is ready to do features because he can do a sustained gag-oriented cartoon where there's not a bomb ticking away, that we know is going to go off in 5 minutes or something, and where it's just one gag after another, and you can make it work. And I think people will be looking through these films in the future, just scanning them, and for what they can get out of them, because I believe that is the future of animation. I think we're going to go back to that earlier thing where we do have a plot, but we also have it's a plot that allows for long, extended middles with just plain gags. And I think that's what he's pioneering in this whole series, and it's going to change animation. I'm convinced of it.
You guys have any interesting stories about, like, I don't know, motivation or inspiration for jokes and gags in this particular piece? Altruists? Any that come to mind? I mean, there are so many.
Only when the camera stops, right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't know the thousands of them.
Because you did a lot of the widow setups.
Yeah, the widow
and
section
headless
was really
boy.
hard. It was really hard to draw girls. I didn't mind drawing the headless kid that talks through his stump, but that's just
I did the voice for the head girl.
that's scary when you
Good
do that.
stuff. Yeah.
Every time you do it, though, I just picture your head gone and your tongue lolling around in your neck hole.
There's a shingle left over, Stimpy.
Hey, that's my lucky singular.
That was my favorite part about it.
Thanks. I appreciate
When Stimpy was skinned and the strange Italian man.
Yeah, I can't take full credit for that. That was a combination of a bunch of other artists up in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Artists and writers. Mike Kerr is one of the gentlemen that actually worked on The Ripping Friends. He did the voice for Chunk, and he did some writing on that episode. And
That was look at those rosy cheeks.
yeah.
It made me so.
Well, actually, he appears in that sequence. He's the
guy on the roof?
The Anglo-Saxon neighbor, right? That's his favorite. Stimpy's favorite.
The setup for the Altruist is great. I mean, with the girl who needs help. But
Yeah.
They were going to build the lady a house.
Yeah.
kind of fond of the duck, too.
Oh, and a duck that'll let you climb his lump? I mean, my God.
Pretty
much
great
fun was
sequence.
that? Yes, the masher duck
Yes.
that had a condom that was a masher condom.
Yeah.
Well, this is a problem too with television, and where you have to come in at a certain length all the time because let's say this is a new field for TV. This kind of Three Stooges thing of one gag after another, and it's really the sort of thing where you have to experiment for a while. You have to do a film, you have to cut it down, see what length works best with that kind of thing. I think it requires some trying things out and whatever. And TV doesn't really allow for that, really. There's a length and they give it to you and that's it. So, man, it's hard. All I know is at the end of that film, I thought, man, John's ready for a feature. This is great. This is really great. I love that format. It's, to me, it's the only way to do real comedy because otherwise you're telling stories and novels are better for stories than animation. Animation is what you do when you're doing gags, and there's some hilarious gags in that.
Yes, yeah.
This next cartoon was conceived the very first day we started pitching stories to Nickelodeon. First day on the job. And they asked us to write up some premises, which we did. Bob Camp turned in about, 25 premises in half an hour or something like that. And they were real short. And one of them was just called Stimpy's Pregnant. And all it said was, Stimpy carries Ren's love child. Needless to say, that story got rejected. But I liked the idea. The only problem was, even though I kept going back to pitch it, I was still a little nervous because all the writers were guys, so none of us had been knocked up yet. And I like to write stories from life experience, and none of us had that experience yet. But a few years later, a charming young lady walked into my office. Say hi, Anne-Marie.
Hi.
Anne-Marie is famous. She did something remarkable. She made the first internet cartoons, the first fully animated, well, maybe they weren't fully animated at first, but the first internet cartoons in a show called The Goddamn George Liquor Program. And I remember when I was doing Ren and Stimpy, and a couple years afterwards, I was looking at the internet trying to figure out, is there some way I could make cartoons on this thing? And because that would be a great way to avoid networks and network interference and just make your own stuff and sell it directly to the audience. But I didn't know exactly how I would do it. There was no technology for it yet. So Anne-Marie walks in one day and she says that she's a big Spumco fan. Why don't you tell the story of how you stalked me for a bit?
I was a really big Spumco fan and I loved the Ren and Stimpy show. So I went to a comic book signing at the Golden Apple and I was super excited that I got to meet you and all the Spumco guys. I had them sign all my stuff and then I heard later that John wanted to make internet cartoons, so I came in and I told him that I had been working with this software called Flash and that they could use it. they were all excited.
Now, at the time, Flash was just this sort of little rinky-dink program, and no one had really done real animation with it yet. They kind of used it for banner ads. It was designed for banner ads and crap like that, right?
Right,
But I think you were doing something with Winnie the Pooh,
right.
which was very primitive. But I said to Anne-Marie, I need you, because I want to make real cartoons. And I think Anne-Marie started to tell me that, well, you know, you can't do lip sync and you can't do this and that, and it says right here in the manual you can't. And I said,
You wouldn't have any of that.
that's right. So we did it. So we invented together all the techniques that everybody uses today for Flash animation. And meanwhile, just as we were getting really good at it, we were doing cartoons like Weekend Pussy Hunt and What P-Boners Are For. She had to go and get knocked up right as we were revolutionizing the whole animation industry. So she had to leave Spumco to raise her waif, or to bear her waif. But in the meantime, we still hung out, and she would tell me all her stories of what it was like to be pregnant. And it got my brain stirring, and that would make a really good cartoon. So when we started making these new cartoons for Spike TV, I decided to resurrect Stimpy's Pregnant. I summoned Anne-Marie, who by that time had, 3 kids? She's a non-stop baby maker here.
2 or 3.
Yeah. So she started telling me all kinds of stories about what it was like to be pregnant. Tell them the one about how horny you get.
That's kind of personal.
Well, you told it to me.
I did. I met you and Eddie at Carney's one night, and you guys were all happy to see each other. And I started telling you all about how it felt to be pregnant, how I wanted to, how I got these kind of crazy frenzied moods, and I'd maniacally move the furniture around in the house. Even though I was pregnant, I'd move big heavy things like pianos and stuff like that. And I was describing to you how my body changed completely, so that I couldn't even tell that it was my body. It was like living in someone else's body. And of course that brought up the subject of how insatiably horny a pregnant person usually is. I guess I can't speak for all pregnant people.
So from that, see, she would tell me all these stories, and then I would add gags to it and stuff and build it. And unfortunately, the horny story, this scene didn't make it into the cartoon, so I'll just tell you what it was. We had this scene where Ren is standing there with a rat and a cockroach, and they're admiring Stimpy, because Stimpy's just been pregnant a few weeks, so he's starting to get a glow, and he's just got a bit of a tummy, and he's just standing there glowing, and Ren's like, hey, check out my beach, man. She's hot, right? And so then Stimpy goes, oh, Ren, and invites him into the bedroom, and he goes in, and he has his way in about 2 seconds, like he always does, and he comes out. Well, that's so fun. He comes out like, well, that's done. Next. And all of a sudden, Stimpy's hand comes out, grabs him, yanks him back in, and makes him do it like 24 times in a row, till Ren is begging for mercy. And the last shot is like, Ren, no, I can't do it anymore, Stimpy. And we cut to Stimpy standing on top of the cupboard, fully decked out in dominatrix gear. And Ren tries to climb out the window, and the little animals on the flowers and stuff are like putting their little arms out to pull him, but too late. Stimpy yanks him back in, and we cut to the door closed, and he's just like ruined. Well, yeah, that didn't make it into the cartoon. And
I didn't say anything about dominatrix outfits.
she has to say that, folks.
Did not. No.
So, Stimpy's Pregnant is one of those episodes where Stimpy's a girl. You probably always wondered about that, and I do too. Sometimes they're husband and wife. Sometimes, you know, they're just pals. And that's it. Stimpy's Pregnant's coming up. And here's the MILF that got the whole thing going. Enjoy it.
Okay, I'm here with Luke and Katie, and we're going to talk a bit about Stimpy's Pregnant. So, what did you guys do on it?
I drew some of the tender scenes, all the loving scenes with the Pooh baby. And
I drew some of the hateful scenes, but only a few of them.
Very good. We were actually thinking back to production, and you know, for those of you who don't know, we had 2 different studios working on these episodes simultaneously, one in LA and one in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And we would always, it'd be like Christmas getting some of your safety copies and some of the layouts. I swear, like a lot of people were very inspired, and we really appreciate the amount of work you guys did. Everyone, you know, whether you're an artist or PA or what have you. A lot of work went into, you know, the final few episodes, only because the crews kind of got smaller, I guess, you know, as time went on, as that happens.
And I think a lot of the artists were hitting their stride by this point.
Yeah, that's
because
for sure.
This was one of the last episode of the season, and I think a lot of the artists really got the style down and everything. So
Yeah, I thought so. Especially the tender loving scenes at the end.
Well, only some of those are mine.
Didn't I tell you, Ren? He looks just like you.
You know, those scenes were really funny, I thought.
Yeah, my parents watched that, and I thought my mom would be all touched by that last Pooh Baby scene, but now my dad thinks it's hilarious. My mom isn't so impressed.
Yeah, I was really proud to say that I actually did some of the one of the layouts for the Pooh Baby based off of John's roughs.
You're a great artist.
Kinda,
I've seen your
I
Ren and
don't know.
Stimpy. They're really cool.
I got a lot to learn, but you know, being at Spunko, it's always a learning experience, you could say.
yep.
I did some Pooh Baby scenes. I did the cute ones, I guess.
Cute.
I did with someone. I had some of John's help, but that's seen Ren receiving the Pooh Baby. I like Vincent Waller's tender scenes actually, because they're so close to being tender, but then there's just that little edge of disgustingness, and they're really funny. I think that's really good. A really good contrast of, you know, motherly love, you know, for your Pooh Baby, and then there's a poo smear on your hand. That's really funny.
Yeah, he draws a mean poo smear
Yeah.
as well as stink waves. So.
What about you, Luke?
The only scene I can remember is just one with Mr. Horse yelling at Ren for some reason or another, and I thought that one probably came out the best. I think it was one of the last scenes I did, and I finally got the style, and then it was the end of the season. So
Yeah, I think that kind of happened. Everyone got really comfortable on their last scene of the production.
I did some revisions. I think a lot of the layouts were done already, but again, we had a shortage of artists in Ottawa, and I was actually asked to finally take a stab at some drawings. I was kind of nervous, but I did some of the bedroom at the beginning arguing back and forth. The what was the line? Ren calls Stimpy a sorceress. And I got to draw the little fart coming out of Stimpy's bunghole and then back in.
right.
So a lot of people were like, "Hey, that's Stinky," like a callback to Stinky. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some really amazing animation and layouts in that first
But I got-
fight scene.
Yeah, I gotta say though, fast forwarding to the end with the conversation, I think Fred did some of those drawings between Dr.
Yeah.
Mr. Horse again and
Those
Ren.
were-
Those
yeah,
were great. And
those are-
John did some really amazing Mr. Horse heads. I had a great time, you know, doing animatics on that, and yeah, it's really fun stuff.
Nurse Sheep is a great character.
Yeah, definitely. I got to clean up a lot of John's roughs for that, and Jess Brudsky worked on a lot of the scene in particular, the one where she's the Nurse Sheep is inhaling and
Oh,
exhaling
yeah,
the cigarette
that's
smoke
awesome.
on the baby.
Right.
That was
Go,
really
Jess,
funny.
go!
That's
Yeah, I
really
think a lot of the really good scenes in Stimpy's Pregnant were, you know, Fred's scenes. Fred Osmond, he was our layout supervisor, who's not here unfortunately, but he's responsible for a lot of the really good scenes. Corey did some cool scenes with that car chase. Robert Corey,
Yeah,
shooting the other cars and stuff. So go Fred, go Corey.
Nick Cross also did some of the drawings in that from Ottawa, and again, really fun to do the timing, sound effects, and music on that particular piece. I had a good time.
What about some of the sound stuff that you did? Was there a lot of sound experimentation in the cartoon?
And a kitchen scene.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of John in there for the kitchen scene. He added some. We found like
Birds
that we were.
chirping.
It's such a hard thing to do because you know we always have a very limited library, and you always end up trying to you almost hear the same sounds over and over again. So we're trying to like at Spunko try to splice some sounds together, and it's always fun to experiment with sound effects. And our dream would be to actually build a full-blown Foley studio where we could actually, throw raw meat at each other and try to capture that on tape. But, it was really hard to try to come up with new sounds for that particular episode, only because it was the last of the season and we were kind of running out of time. But I think we made out okay. That was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, during the sausage eating scene, there's some really good sound
Yeah, it's
effects
really
in there.
funny.
Warren, another storyboard artist, worked on sausages are always fun to draw,
Sausage eating.
especially when the juice comes out.
Do you really like fish bums? Yeah, I always save the best for last.
Fish bums are always good. That's a Filipino delicacy. Fish ass sandwich.
Fish ass.
And baby birds are always good.
Baby birds.
Half-hatched eggs for anyone.
But fishes don't have asses.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
They do?
Yes, fishes have asses.
You gotta spread the legs.
No, they don't have buttocks, but they have a sphincter.
sphincter.
And you eat those in the Philippines?
Like breathing air.
Oh, man.
What else do you eat in the Philippines?
Your babies.
Oh, that's good.
Filipino fish with big hairy butts swimming through the water.
That's so good. I'm drooling as we
Much
speak.
sought after.
Edit this part out of the international
Yeah.
version. It's
I think I have full control. I have full control of editing of this thing, so I'll be happy to snip and cut.
Yeah, fishes have asses. That's the greatest quote of the evening. Fishes have asses?
Oh, Eddie! Nice of you to join us. Holy shit!
Thank you.
Tell us about your views on Stimpy's pregnant.
Well, John has this reputation for being over the top at everything he does, and people yell a lot and they extreme emotions and all this. And John is the master of over the top, but I don't think it's that well known that John is also the master of under the top. It's a master of understatement. Mr. Horse is the quintessential understated character. He's sort of it's like Droopy was for his generation, except I think Mr. Horse is actually funnier. It's the understatement of that horse. What he can do with just an expression is amazing. And another thing I like about that film is that the film is in two. It's the whole thing leading up to to Stimpy being pregnant, and then there's the trip to the hospital and the horse who's there. And the mood of both pieces is very different. And I thought to myself, holy cow, on the very last episode, John really nailed this thing. Because there's a lot of experiment in the structure of stories in these episodes. And John finally figured out that this kind of Three Stooges type of thing in the beginning, followed by a sort of Mr. Horse personality intensive thing, is the perfect combination. And I think that the change of mood in the middle of the film was just a tour de force of story structure. And I think if the series had lasted longer, I'm almost certain that there would have been more things like that. Because after a lot of fooling around to see what works, he finally found a beautiful structure for the kind of thing that he's gotten into nowadays. This acting intensive stuff.
Especially that scene where Stimpy's licking his own bunghole.
Well, yes, there's that. There is that.
That's a tour de force.
I just had to mention that. That was pretty damn dirty. But I think John was very worried about that sequence. Yeah, I think it was Stimpy's eating habits. Right?
Yes.
That was pretty crazy.
I never thought I would be able to see a mother's sincere tenderness for a piece of poop.
I have to say, every show, John would, he'd synthesize all the stuff, come up with a story and all this with the people at lunch and all that. And he'd come back, and if you weren't part of that discussion, you hear the story, and the attitude of everybody, sitting around when he explains the story is always, first of all, you laugh, you just laugh hysterically, but then all of a sudden you straighten up and say, Oh, wait a minute, John, you can't do that. You're not serious. You're not going to do a film about that, are you? You know, Shampoo Master, the poop child, and all this stuff. Yep. You go, oh man. You're constantly doing that at Spumco. You can't believe the stuff that you're working on.
Remember when you first saw the three things?
Three things?
Yeah.
Oh, and
Altruists.
In Altruists.
Yeah.
What three things?
The three things. The bastard children of Ducks and Stimpies.
Oh, yes. Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was another great gag that was like done over like a breakfast, as most of John's gags are. You know, go grab a meal and think of
Yeah,
what
breakfasts
might
were
come
really
out of
important.
Stimpy after he makes out with a duck. I don't know.
Duck milk.
But the three things was a great payoff, I thought, to a good setup.
I think the three things and the Pooh Baby are what's going to be really remembered from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. And I'm just excited to know that people will actually get to watch this now, and own it and watch it over and over again.
Watch the birthing scene over and over and over.
Yeah, the
again.
birthing scene, that was a crazy.
You know what I think is
Crazy
funny?
thing.
Everybody says, oh, there's only 36 stories. There's a book by that name, the 36 Basic Plots. John will not repeat himself with a story. It's got to be new, it's got to be original. And really, even if you're working at the studio, you have no idea what's coming. And, it shocks the artists who work there as much as it shocks the audience. Your first reaction is always, you're going to do that? You can't do that. And then you're thinking about it at home, laughing so hard you're almost having an accident. The cars swerving all over the street. Man, oh man, I can't believe it. It's like a really totally original story every time. It's the originality of that studio is just incredible. On a daily basis, you're constantly being confronted by stuff that you've never seen before, or never heard of before, or were never asked to do before.
You're an original too, Eddie.
Well, thank you, Steve.
I've never seen anything like you before. Okay, take off all your clothes. We got more tape.
Well, I'm gonna pop off and Luke will appear.
Hi. Hey, this is Katie Rice. She is one of the young artists I was telling you about who sought me out because she grew up watching Ren and Stimpy, right? Mm-hmm. So, Ren and Stimpy has a lot of specialists on it. Like we have people who draw manly, we have people who draw sensitive, we have people who draw sexy girls. Katie is the princess of sexy girl artists. Now I got to tell you a little history because all through the 80s, when I was working at Hanna-Barbera and Filmation and all these studios, I always wanted to draw sexy girls into the cartoons. But since the networks were all run by dykes, they wouldn't let you because they thought it was offensive to women to draw girls cute, like Katie here. So it frustrated me and all the other artists that like to draw sexy girls. So when Ren and Stimpy came along, I managed to get a couple of scenes, like in Powdered Toast Man. What's the name of the girl, the lovely assistant in Powdered Toast Man? Mm-hmm. Now, Katie used to watch these cartoons, and didn't that crap inspire you or something?
Yes, I love the girls. I like those Lynn Naylor girls too, in Stimpy's Big Day.
Yeah, those were great. And I think Katie showed me one time, she drew, I was at her 15th birthday party. We'll tell you that backstory a little bit later. And she showed me her sketchbook, and one of the drawings in it was a copy of a drawing I did of my character, Sody Pop. You still have that drawing?
Yes, it's not very good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, she is now, as far as I know, the best artist in the business at doing sexy girls. And she has a website called funnycute.com.
.blogspot.com.
There you go. Funny Cute. Look up Katie Rice and Funny Cute. And anyways, so the new Ren and Stimpy's come along, and Spike TV asked me, John, you got to do something that adults like. Like when we made the original Ren and Stimpy, I did things that kids like boogers and farts. So what did adults like? They like naked. So we did a cartoon called Naked Beach Frenzy. Now, it wasn't originally called that, and the idea for the cartoon came from Carolyn J. Alvarez, who's another Ren and Stimpy fan, and she mailed me a letter saying, hey, John, why don't you make a cartoon where Ren and Stimpy go to the beach and Stimpy thinks that they're there to get exercise and fresh air and sunshine and all this good stuff. But it turns out that Ren is there because he just wants to look at all the hot bitches running around in thongs and stuff. So I recruited Katie to be the lead artist on the cartoon. She designed all the sexy girls. We had this one scene where Ren and Stimpy are bathroom attendants in the shower room, the girls' shower room on the beach. So Katie was drawing all the shower scenes. And we had a problem. What was the problem? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. It was, how do you draw girls in the shower naked and not show the good parts? So Katie drew the good parts. And I was all nervous. I kept thinking, oh, I'd call her up. I was in Canada and she was here in LA. And I'd call her up and say, Katie, you gotta, like, you know, put hands in front of them or hair or soap suds or something. Otherwise, we're all gonna get fired.
Well, we started, actually it was a little different than that. I drew them all sort of Fantasia style with, you know, they had the boobs, but there was no nipples on them. And then I remember, like, right before we turned the cartoon in, we were trying to come up with ways to hide them, whether it be foam or hands or whatever. And I remember asking John, like, John, what are we going to do? They don't have nipples and there's nothing covering it. What do we do? He said, just draw nipples on them. So I went through all the scenes really quick and just did little nipples on every girl.
How that happened was I called up Kevin Kay at Spike TV and I told him the problem. I said, how do we do a shower scene without showing the nipples? After a while, you know, it's going to get repetitive to just keep trying to hide it. So he said, you know what, we're a man's network. Draw the goddamn nipples. So we did, and Katie did, and all the guys that had to follow up on her scenes spent a lot of time in the bathroom, let me tell you. So we did exactly what they told us to do, and then they never aired it. So, and we got fired.
We blamed Janet Jackson.
Yeah, that's right, it was Janet Jackson's fault.
Write her a nasty letter.
Our show appeared at Spike TV ready to air, and then Janet and Justin did us in. So. But anyways, you don't care anymore because you've got this filth right in front of you. Naked Beach Frenzy, here it comes. Hey, we got Dave Feast, the creator of Cow and Chicken here, with Katie Rice, the designer of the girls in Naked Beach Frenzy, Luke Cormican, who laid out about half of Naked Beach Frenzy. Well, much of it.
Yeah, okay.
And they're going to tell you all about it. Dave saw Naked Beach Frenzy for the first time.
Just today.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
I think you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's brilliant.
Well, Katie drew a lot of it. What did you think of the hot bitches that Katie draws?
Pretty damn hot.
Oh, thank you.
So what's it like to be a girl and sell out your own kind?
It's fun.
Draw sexist images all over the screen.
Oh, well, I think it's fun.
Yeah?
Yes.
So, hey, the two of you guys together did the shower sequence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us how that worked?
Okay.
Well, Luke would draw Ren and Stimpy, and I would draw the girls around them. And that's how it worked.
Yep.
Pretty easy.
So how did you do the Shampoo Master jizz sequence?
Well, I took care of the jizz and Katie.
And that was all rotoscoped, right?
I was Shampoo Master.
So Dave, what parts did you laugh at, or did you laugh at any of them, now that you're on the spot?
I laughed at when Ren first saw the girl when she was gyrating in front of him and he had the suntan lotion and he squeezed it, all of a sudden it hit Stimpy in the nose and he said thanks, I was getting a burn right there.
Who drew that?
That was a Canadian layout.
Oh, god damn them. Dirty Canucks. All right, you guys have any stories of working on this crap?
Well, we were the only ones, me and Katie were the only ones in the LA studio who did any layouts on it, so everyone else is pretty jealous that we got the only episode with lots of hot girls in it, so.
We should talk about Nick Cross, because he did a lot of the girls too. And they're really funny. He did all the lifeguards, and those are personally my favorite scenes to watch, because I think that they're the funniest ones. And there's some funny boob bouncing action that I don't think I really got that much of in my scenes, so.
How many times did you have to cry during that?
Maybe 3 or 4 times.
That was the first time that you had actually designed a cartoon, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like what were you doing the week before?
I was drawing everything. Actually, before I worked on this cartoon, I could only draw girls that had circles for heads. So I couldn't draw a real girl, so this is the first time I actually had to draw reasonably constructed girls. So that's why they look kind of weird in some scenes. I'm sorry about that, but it was sort of a learning process.
Hey, didn't you do one of the voices, Tim?
Yeah, I'm the redheaded girl in the shower.
Okay, let's hear it.
No.
Let's hear it. Give. The audience needs it.
I don't even remember my lines.
Oh. Did you yell shampoo master?
No, that was Christy.
That was Christy.
She has the best cartoon girl voice of anybody in the world, if you ask me. So.
Who's Christy?
Christy is a girl that does background paintings for
Right.
all the Ren and Stimpys.
All the girls at Spamco are hot, right?
I suppose so. I know the Canadian ones are. Maybe the Canadian ones.
Dave, am I right?
They're all, yeah, everyone is hot.
Yeah, that's the prerequisite for working at Spamco. We don't care if you can draw or not.
Probably Katie can.
Any other stories? What was the hardest thing to do on Naked Beach Fencing?
Draw pictures.
Which picture?
All pictures. It was really fun, but it was hard too because I wasn't used to that kind of stuff.
What did you think about the scenes in the shower where the girl doesn't have lip sync?
I don't know. It's not my job to do all the lip sync.
No. You just remember, were you shocked when you saw it?
Yeah, I thought it was really weird.
Yeah.
It's almost funny.
Was that a stylistic choice, John?
I have no idea how it happened. We provided the poses and they came back from Korea with no lip sync, just a wide open mouth. Just ready for the boys.
Maybe that was why they did it. You can turn it on mute and just... I don't know.
Which scenes made you cry?
Oh, well, there's a scene where she's, shampoo master, and she wants his autograph, and that scene was hard because she was moving around a lot, and I had to do it a bunch of times, and I probably cried a few times in the process, but I like how that scene turned out, so it was worth it. So.
How about the girl fight scene? The crowd scenes? That was pretty hard to draw, wasn't it?
Well, I think,
What theory did you use for that?
well, did Jess animate a lot of that?
She animated some of the big fight,
Where the scene starts and the girls are all really skinny. I don't know why they're so skinny, but that's how I drew them. I don't think I was caught up in a lot of stuff trying to make that stupid scene work. I don't know. Yeah, that was a cry scene. It turned out okay, I guess.
Oh. Dave, would you give it to those girls in the cartoon?
Oh yeah. So the fight scene was the one in the beginning where Ren was like a towel going in and out of the breast.
Yeah. Oh, that gag, the breast gag, was Eric Ballas's bitch. That was Laura Fuentes came up with that joke while she was interning, while she was a minor at Spamco in Canada. All the girls are just dirty at Spamco. What is that? The end.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi, Steve.
This is Little Pal. So what did you want to talk about here, Eddie?
Well, it can't go without a mention that the lifeguard in there, the hairy lifeguard, is the absolute funniest character in all of modern animation. That was absolutely terrific. When he jumps off the platform onto the sand with his sack, whatever it's called. the way the way it comes down. This is very embarrassing to talk about. But anyway, and he's running forward to camera, and the thing is way back and forth and all this. I mean, the mouth to mouth, the idea that men are hairy beasts, that please. It's the ultimate statement that men are hairy beasts, and it's amazing that women like us, but fortunately they do. I don't know why. So it's the lifeguard is great when he does that crab run, and he looks through his legs at the end when he gets to the cliff. This is all genius. I think this is one of the best cartoons ever made since Clampett left Warner Brothers. It's a monumental cartoon.
There was a really
hilarious
visceral gag in there, the one where Ren has the hair in his mouth. Every time I've ever seen anyone watch that cartoon, they always have a kinesthetic response and not entirely a pleasant one.
Now for some serious babe watching.
Oh, darn these tan lines. You know, it's such a beautiful day today. I think I'll go natural and tan topless. Ooh. Yes. It feels so good.
I knew you'd like thongs, Ren. Floss me?
Oh, what a cute pussy! I wish I had a pussy like you! I'm gonna kiss you right on your butt! Oh, what an adorable pussy! Hey! Let me pet the pussy! Is that a retard? I want to pet the pussy! Give me that turd! Oh, boy! He's mine! You bitch! I want the idiot! I hate you!
Rock me! I'm the
Come on, Joni. Let's go freshen up so we can get to the beach. Our very own bathroom attendant. Let's go grab some towels and head to the showers. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you! You know, Joni, this is one of the nicest change rooms I've ever stripped in. And it's very professional, too! The water's so hot and nice. I can hardly wait to lather up. Hey, where's the soap?
Did someone say slather?
Why, it's that darling little man.
That's Jiminy Man to you, miss. I can't let you do that by yourself.
You mean you'll wash me?
Kinda guy I am.
This is so fancy. Slather that lather, Mr. Man.
Done.
Ah. I can't believe what a luxury establishment this is.
That's a leaving.
shiny. Mr. Man. Oh no! There's no shampoo!
Shampoo Master!
Shampoo Master! It's him! It's really him! Can you sign my autograph book?
Certainly. Shampoo Master.
You're the man, Shampoo Master. Oh. Do it for me, Shampoo Master. Oh yes, that's so good. Do it for me, Shampoo Master. Oh my God! Ah! Oh, I'm beautiful again.
It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
Help! Somebody help! Are you the suntan oil dispensers? Oh, you're just what I need. My friend is burning up on the beach. You've got to rub suntan oil all over my friend.
I'll be right there.
Oh, no, you don't. This is my job.
Oh, hurry, hurry!
Let's go, sister. Time's a-wasting.
Oh, you wonderful little man.
I'm so ready for this job.
Oh, there's my friend. Hurry, please. My friend's burning up.
Help!
Oh, hi, Ren. Gee, this is a good job, isn't it?
You idiot, I'm sinking over here. Help! Stimpy! Help!
I'm coming, honey.
Huh? Hey.
Did that bad man pinch you up?
Just put me down, Stimpy.
Hey, you! You're that Jiminy Sand Crab guy! You son of a bitch! You made me kiss you! Wait till I get my hairs on you!
Come on, Stimpy!
You better not come back, you filthy scum! Whoa!
Rock me! I'm the
Come on, Joni. Let's go freshen up so we can get to the beach. Oh, wow, look! Our very own bathroom attendant. Let's go grab some towels and head to the showers. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you! You know, Joni, this is one of the nicest change rooms I've ever stripped in. And it's very professional, too!
It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
Help! Somebody help! Are you the suntan oil dispensers? Oh, you're just what I need. My friend is burning up on the beach. You've got to rub suntan oil all over my friend.
I'll be right there.
Oh, no, you don't. This is my job.
Oh, hurry! Hurry!
Let's go, sister. Time's a-wasting.
Oh, you wonderful little man!
Wow, Ren. What a great idea you had to come to the beach today. I didn't know you were into such good, clean, wholesome fun.
Yeah. Wholesome.
My ball! My ball! Darn you, you slippery old ball!
And isn't this fresh air great, Ren?
That's right, Stimpy. Fresh air is good for the lungs. It pumps them up and makes them healthy.
I just can't keep my hands on that ball.
And don't forget how important exercise is, Ren.
Oh, I love exercise.
Upsy-daisy! Upsy-daisy! Eep! I dropped my ball! I know! I guess I'll bend over and pick it up.
Gee, thanks, Ren. I could have got a bad sunburn there. But you're always thinking of me, aren't you? Aren't you?
Yeah, work those glutes, baby.
Now available on DVD from Comedy Central, South Park Season 7.
I wonder what it used to be like in those days. In those days. In those days.
It was a contentious year for Cartman and Kyle.
Let's go! Come on! Come on! What's the matter, Kyle? You chicken?
And for Cartman and Butters.
Where were you this morning at 9 o'clock, Butters? Well, I was at home. Your story's full of hoes, and I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't start telling the truth.
Cartman couldn't even get along with his own butt.
Wait, what's this?
But Season 7 wasn't just about conflict, it was also a time of discovery.
Oh, you are such a sweetie. Come here, you.
With mini commentaries on all 15 shows, this 3-disc set includes such legendary episodes as Crazy Cripple.
So you saying you down?
Down like a clown, Charlie. Down like a cloud, Charlie. Down like a cloud, Charlie.
South Park is gay.
Ooh, come on. You guys look pretty gay. Oh, please, Craig. We're 10 times gayer than you. We're here. We're not queer, but we're close. Get used to it.
Christian rock hard.
Whenever I see Jesus up on that cross, I can't help but think that it looks kinda hot.
And Fat Butt and Pancake Head, where Cartman learns that celebrity comes at a steep price.
Good morning, baby.
Ooh, looks like the Tooth Fairy was extra happy with you.
South Park, the complete 7th season, now available on DVD. 15 episodes of Comedy Central's biggest hit show from the craziest little town in America. And for the full South Park experience, pick up seasons 1 through 6, now available on DVD.
But can I still kill Kyle?
Now available on DVD from Comedy Central, reality TV's newest sensation.
Would you be a dear and fetch my bag, servant girl?
Oh, it's on, bitch.
It's season 1 of TV's first animated reality show, Drawn Together, uncensored.
Yeah! Oh, nice!
Foxy Love is gonna teach you how to open up your mind and your mouth.
Oh my God!
Of course Xander's gay. Why else wouldn't he be attracted to all this?
'Cause you're fat, and nobody likes fat chicks.
Are you defecating into a cantaloupe?
This is awkward. When 8 cartoon characters are chosen to live in a house monitored by 1 million cameras, you get all the conflict.
Oh, God, I hate pickles! I gotta call my AA sponsor! I said I'm on the phone!
And all the drunken hookups you've come to expect from reality TV.
Trim kiss!
Plus superpowers. Bonus features include deleted scenes, extended episodes,
Nobody throws me face first in the jello, but me!
and some unforgettable karaoke.
Bullies are people who hate themselves, abused at age 6 or molested at 12.
The complete first season of Drawn Together Uncensored, available now on DVD. Find out what happens when people stop being polite and start making out in hot tubs.
This is the life.
Now on DVD. In 1993, Ren Poick and Stimson J. Cat returned to television for their 3rd tour of animated duty.
I looked death right in the eye, and it smelled like cheap cigars and stinky fish.
For their efforts, they were awarded 4th and 5th seasons.
We've reached the big time!
Now, more than a decade later, you can relive the experience of those psyche-scorching years with 2 new box sets, Ren and Stimpy Season 3.5-ish, and Ren and Stimpy Season 5 and some more of 4.
We did it! We did it!
Fry the lower regions of your cerebral cortex with a mind-numbing collection of pure cartoon madness.
Oh no! He's overdosed on TV!
In these thoroughly deranged misadventures, Ren's full capacity for undistilled evil is finally revealed. The value of a good set of pecs is discovered. And the might of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police is challenged.
And don't come back, eh?
These robust-to-busting 3-disc sets feature commentary by series creator John Kay. And for the first time ever, Ren and Stimpy comment on Ren and Stimpy.
It's you and me, pal. We're a team. Like mayonnaise and clams.
These box sets are so full of goodies, you just might forget about your prized assortment of celebrity wigs. Now is the time to complete your collection with Ren and Stimpy Season 3.5-ish and Ren and Stimpy Season 5 and some more of 4. Buy the DVDs today.
Hey, kids!
Hey, mindless drones, there's a new product for you to consume. The first season of Wonder Chosen is on DVD. Featuring color visuals.
Don't freak it out!
Simulated motion. Sync sound. Imagination. All in glorious 2D.
How pretty. I gotta go poopy.
Old factory stimulation not included.
Look, Dad, I made it. I'm on TV. How's prison?
Learn how to be a decent citizen.
Wanna go fight the power with me later?
Fight the power with you later?
Learn about the joys of consequence.
Smoking kills.
And the danger of those joys.
11 out of every 10 people listening to this message are dead from cooties. We still don't know the cause.
Get all 8 episodes, plus tons of never before seen by human ears. Erudite audio commentaries. Soul-shattering outtakes and blooper zooms.
Chauncey is dumb.
His father's a pimp. Clarence's bonus mind fudgery.
This is supposed to be a children's show.
An aborted B-Kid shtick.
Chug, chug. Spring break.
Go buy the Wonder Chosen first season DVD now. I'm going to throw up in the mouth of the working class. Ugh.
This is so much fun. I'm getting a bloody nose.